Hello everyone, welcome to your first lesson of Book 3. Today, we're going to talk about possibilities and consequences. For possibilities, it's very simple. All you have to do is use if. Now for consequences, there are many different types of consequences. So let's see the type of consequences that we can have. The first one we can talk about is a certain consequence, 100%, absolute. The second type can be something possible to happen, probability. The third type, we can talk about a hypothetical consequence, possible to happen. And the fourth and last type, we can talk about imaginary consequences, using our creativity. So now, let's see some examples of possibilities and consequences. The first one we're going to see is a consequence that always happens, 100% certain. A good example is water. Let's see. So we can say that if you freeze water, it becomes a solid. Or when you freeze water, it becomes a solid. The same way, if you heat water at 100 degrees, it becomes steam. Or, when you heat water at 100 degrees, it becomes steam. Did you understand the times of the actions? So let's see the first example. The action, if you freeze, simple present. The consequence, it becomes simple present. The second example, if you heat, simple present. The consequence, it becomes also simple present. So in this case, if you use the action in simple present and the consequence is also in simple present, you give the idea that every time you make that action, you're going to have that result or consequence. A different structure we can use is to talk about the very possible consequence and just a possible consequence in your opinion. A good example we can use is study and eat. So let's see the examples. If you study, you have a good grade. The second example, if you eat that, you will not like it. Did you understand the times of the verbs? Let's have a look at them. The first one, if you study, you will have a good grade. Study, action in the present. Will have a good grade, simple future. The second example, if you eat that, you will not like it. Eat, present. Will not, simple future. If you use that structure of action in the past with consequence in the future, you give the idea that this consequence is very likely to happen, very possible. Or it is just your opinion. The two final structures that we can see today are about things that are impossible to happen in the future. And there are two motives for that. The first one is because it's a situation in the past, and I cannot go back and change it. The second one would be because it's just your imagination. So let's see the first one using vacations. This year, I traveled to Argentina, but if I had gone to London, it would have been more expensive. Did you understand the times of the verbs in this example? It's very important that you want to use this structure if you want to talk about a situation in the past that could have been different if you had done something different. Let's have a look at the example again. I traveled to Argentina. I use simple past. And the consequence, it would have been more expensive. I use the conditional would plus the present perfect. The last structure I will show you today is to talk about actions and consequences that are created in your mind, using your imagination. A good example we can use is nationalities. So let's see the example. I can say that if I was American, I would live in New York. Did you understand the times of the verb in this case? Let's have a look at the example one more time. If I was American, I use the verb in the simple past. I would live in New York. I continue to use the conditional would plus a verb. This structure is to talk about things that you are imagining. Guys, this video should help you understand conditional clauses a little bit better. And after that, come to speed up and let's talk!